Also, I hit both unders. I was not 1 in 5. Thank you.
You hit 1 under.
No, I had the under in both.
No, you didn't. Literally, we have it. You typed this.
Well, I would have had the under in both games.
Well, you didn't on that sheet, so that's why it reflects that.
That's fine.
I mean, the outcome doesn't change. You can change. Change that,
it.
but you might want to change it on that. Make sure you change it on that too, because it reflects the overall.
That's fine.
Don't you dance? Gonna be alright.
That was the only thing that I had. Only pride I had from the weekend was that I was correct on both the unders.
Both the unders. Oh, yeah. So good for you. I'm glad that you.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Got those right.
Everything's fine.
Is it? Is everything fine?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, you'll see.
It's got a good opening montage coming.
A good opening montage. All right. What'd you go with today?
Vodka.
The vodka. Vodka. Did you hear that, everybody? You went with the vodka?
The vodka.
He's going Russian today. I don't know why. Kind of scares me.
Got to get in drinking mode.
Well, when you have
two shitty shots.
However,
when things don't go your way.
So I somewhat built out. Actually, I need to pull it up. Our golf one from last year. And then I realized there's a lot more shitty shots in the golf season.
Yeah. You think?
Exponentially. Yeah. So,
it's because golfing and drinking.
Yeah, it makes sense. Right.
In hand.
There's a lot more betting to happen.
Right.
It's a lot more.
It's a lot easier to get bored. And there's a lot more things you can bet on.
Correct. So yeah,
that's say a lot more things, but
that's where we're at.
Keeps us entertained.
All right. So the championship weekend happened.
Yeah.
Really the only thing that happened this weekend.
You get yours in here because I'm about to
get at it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell by how many tweets you were sending.
Oh my God.
I felt like someone was a little hot under the collar. But championship weekend happened. It was game one is sad. It was just a disappointing way to have a game. Congrats, Eagles. You survived not having anyone hurt, so you didn't really have to. They didn't really have to compete much. Niners run it a lot longer than I believe they should have been, but NFL, you're going to compete. But it was just sad to see that happen. To Brock, obviously, local kid, tearing your UCL. I don't know what that would feel like, but no wonder he couldn't throw the ball. And then have your backup quarterback end up getting concussion. And now what do you do? So that game was kind of just meh. It was just a sad chain of events. It was going to happen just how you happened. Really, the only thing that was of any craziness was early on, the first touchdown. And should not have been. But I'm sure we'll pick that apart as we have video evidence of that. And so that was that for me. Game one, just game two, as I said it would be going to be a sloppy under situation. And I thought Mahomes looked really well, actually. He looks like he can move around very well. 2 more weeks on that's going to be tremendous. They need to get their receivers healthy to have a shot, in my opinion, but they'll be fine.
Kelsey's healthy. That's all that matters.
Kelsey's healthy. No one ever guards him. So they're whatever. Why not cover Kelsey? That game I'm just pumping this up as much to you as possible. That game, I believe the best team won at the end. They were the better team throughout the game. The Bengals they didn't look it. Their offense was all over the place. Defense was getting driven on. The Chiefs should have had way more points, but Bengals defense held. The way the game ended is what you're going to get to, which is what the world is basically upset about. I just want everyone to know that The Chiefs were the better team. The better team won. How they won is a totally different conversation.
Yeah. I'm going to start. That's a great transition. I'm going to start by agreeing with you. First and foremost, I think that the better two football teams, one from an execution, coaching, just overall look standpoint, I feel like those are the two teams that, whether you want to say deserved, however you want to say it, like I'll put that caveat out there. I think that those were the two teams that should have been there. Item number 2 is I'm not a conspiracy theorist in that I don't think NFL games are rigged.
Correct.
I think that things are done and things are called. I think refs may or may not be involved in some gambling stuff that they probably shouldn't be. Not every game, but there's too many things that happen that, you can't tell me it's never happened before type of thing. Do I think it was the case this weekend? No. I think the NFL was in a really good spot this weekend. They had 4 teams, and it really didn't matter which 2 teams won which 2 games. Some shitty luck for the 49ers. Like you said, you feel bad for them. And then the Bengals, just by not being able to block the Chiefs, put themselves in a very precarious position the entire game because they could not stop the Chiefs' pass rush. The Chiefs didn't do all of the things I would have done in order to exploit the Bengals, and the Bengals didn't have a chance to do some things against the Chiefs that, as far as running the football and stuff like that, simply because they couldn't block 4 rushers. So all those things being said, the thing that I cannot stand and the thing that I was most irritated about all weekend is that both games were ref shows. A 31-7 final? Mm-hmm. 31-7 final. Somehow a game that was 31-7 and a team without a quarterback became a ref show game. Only the NFL can somehow screw that up. Like in a game that's 31-7, a team doesn't have a quarterback, puts a quarterback who can't even throw the damn ball back in the game, which that's a whole nother conversation. What in the hell are the refs doing making these games about themselves? In a 31-7 game where one team can literally not throw the football, the refs should be invisible. Absolutely invisible. I should not know who ref the game. I should not know any calls that were made. They should all be irrelevant. And yet, we can go through that game, and the first drive that the Eagles score on is an incomplete pass, of which the incompetence of the booth to buzz down as they see the guy stand up, run very quickly back to the line, knowing full well that he dropped the ball. First of all, Shanahan, throw the damn red flag. This is a ball at the 2-yard line. You're giving up 7 points if you don't. And yet we let the play run. The booth buzz misses. The challenge flag misses. 7-0 Eagles on an incomplete pass, which was on 4th down. So this isn't, they would have got points. This is a clear give the ball to the 49ers, lose game momentum at a time that can change play calls moving forward because you're not down 7-0. Not saying that you're going to change a ton of play calls, but this just changes the whole reflection of the game. The longer the game goes, the more game pressure.
They were at midfield.
Right. Like Philadelphia doesn't score.
Hurt. Like there's a lot of snowballs from there.
And Jalen Hurts is very much, when it comes to throwing the football, a comfort thrower.
Yeah.
If he's comfortable, he's fine. But like Lamar Jackson, he gets a little more inaccurate as things get a little tighter, stuff like that. You're going to get those throws. Josh Allen, same thing. Like when they're not comfortable, when they can't do all of their offense because they're not playing with a 7-0 lead that was given to them, then that changes game plan. That changes everything. That changes how the 49ers have to play defense. That changes how long the 49ers defense has to be on the field. And all of those things change complexions of the game. That's drive 1. Get down, then it's 7-7, get down, 10-7, 14-7. Purdy gets hurt. Josh Johnson fumbles the damn ball away on a perfect snap. Was very disappointed because I think he was okay up until that point, and that's when
would have been fine.
That's when the nerves broke. And former PFL guy, a guy that I personally played against a couple of different times. So like rooting interest is that he does well. And so it was just kind of disheartening and heartbreaking a little bit to see that happen to that guy. And after that, it was I mean, that was the breaking point for me, more so than even the Purdy injury in that game, because I think the 49ers, with any type of competent quarterback play, would have stayed in that game a lot longer. But he fumbles after the Eagles score on a play that was extended because of a flag on a third down where the Eagles would have had to punt. Next time they get the ball back, now inside the 20, 25-yard line, they go in and score. So nothing with that. They didn't create a turnover. That's the thing, is like the Eagles didn't create any of this. It's like that ball was dropped on the ground. Josh Johnson then had a chance to recover it and didn't. And then somehow the Eagles end up with it, run the ball in, score, whatever. Next time they score is on a third down penalty. They punt the ball away. The 49ers guy gets blocked into the punter, into his punting leg, which is a running into the punter. But because he fell down, they gave it a 15-yard penalty, which it was 4th and 6th.
He was blocked.
But then he was blocked into. So it should have been no penalty.
Correct.
Worst case should have been a 5-yarder. Again, give the Eagles the ball. Eagles go down and score.
Right.
So that's, right there. That's 28 of their 31 points, or 24 of their 31 points. And then they scored again late. But again, on that drive, even late, was 2 different third down plays where they either had illegal contact or pass interference, I think, maybe on one of them. And one of those was, I would even call it fairly obvious, but like Hurts was completely just had no chance at this receiver throwing to this receiver, nor that receiver catching the ball. Ended up breaking the pocket. They called the penalty while he was in the pocket instead of, because you can't call illegal contact when he's out of the pocket. So that's all discretionary on what you're looking at and anything like that. And again, just another play. So now it gets to 31-7 eventually, and it's like, okay, it's completely over. But in order to get there, the Eagles showed me absolutely nothing other than that they needed to rely on the refs to beat a team that was playing with 50% of their football team.
You forgot something that happened almost every snap, too.
Well,
Lane Johnson.
Yeah. So going against Bosa,
almost every snap.
Their right tackle, Lane Johnson, was a good half tick ahead of the snap count the entire game.
The entire game.
And did he get flagged any times?
No.
0 times. So that just negates a pass rush. And again, to me, that at some point they're just not going to call that. And the 49ers played through that. But that was my problem with game 1, is that final ends up 31-7. The Eagles scored 10 points in my eyes of non-ref football.
Yeah.
Against a team who literally couldn't do anything on offense. And so disappointment is that while I think the Eagles were a better team, that I don't think they were able to show that. And to me, did not prove anything other than they rode ref coattails to a 31-7 victory. And that can sound petty, but ultimately, I think they were the better team. But the way they went about it and the way that it happened just doesn't feel like a good victory.
No, and we had talked a little bit about this.
It's their fault.
It's not their fault that those things happened, but they didn't step on their throat and score be what it is.
Right.
They didn't dominate them the whole game.
Right.
They weren't running up and down their throat and sticking it to them. They weren't.
Right.
And that's what is more, I guess, for me, disappointing in that team looking at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Which we won't get to this week at all, is the fact that, okay, Eagles, you had a team that is legitimately down and out. They cannot beat you.
Right.
You just go dominate them.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't.
No.
And to me, a Super Bowl winner or the better team should be able to put you away early, have no doubts. We had doubts all the way through until almost halftime when he decided to go whatever. I don't even know how you dropped. Never mind. Yeah. Until then. And that still a game. Even after that was still a game. Yeah. How do you not take over and just dominate them?
Yeah, Gainwell had the best, he was the most impressive player to me for the Eagles. Broke some tackles, made some big catches, had a couple big runs. So without him, and I'm not saying that, maybe Sanders would have made those plays or whatever, ultimately the Eagles were still going to win that game. But just didn't like the look of it, didn't like the feel of it, didn't feel like anything other than the refs, just getting the Eagles over the hump every time they needed to get over the hump. And when they're already, like when the 49ers are already playing literally short-handed, extremely so, which I don't agree with Shanahan. In my opinion, Shanahan threw in the towel by putting Purdy back in the game and him not being able to throw. Christian McCaffrey can throw the football.
Yep.
Like, at least give a guy a chance that can actually throw the football. And I don't give a shit what play you call. It don't matter.
You can write plays up as you go.
Like, just go tell that guy to run a post, this guy to run a dig, and this guy to run a hitch route. And, like, I'm going to back up and we're going to chuck it down the field. We're going to give it a damn chance at least. So, didn't really like how the 49ers took it, specifically Shanahan, mid-third quarter on, basically. Just, like, when we realized, oh, Purdy really can't throw at all. Don't put him in the game.
The thing is,
you make him look bad by putting him back in the game, and then and knowing that he can't throw
after he told you legitimately, we all saw it.
Yeah,
I can't throw.
Can't hold on.
Now, see, this is where they took Josh Johnson out because of a concussion, right? They went through that protocol.
Yeah,
there has to be a protocol for normal ass injuries. Yeah. He couldn't throw.
Yeah.
Now, could he have hurt and injured that thing more? Surgery, he's probably going to need it anyway. No, but like.
No, but like
why
it's disconnected.
Yeah, don't.
We didn't know it at that point, but like his PCL is literally disconnected. So like, no matter how
did they not like? How did they? There's a test.
I mean, I assume there's a drawer test or anything like that. The problem is like it's not like if he played any other position, he would have played.
Yeah,
he plays quarterback with his right arm.
Yeah, sadly, that's what he is.
Right, that is your livelihood. That's like a pitcher without a
throwing
fastball.
Yeah.
Or without, I mean, he could maybe play catch with the catcher from 20 feet. That would be the equivalent of what they were asking Purdy to do. And again, it's a bad look for the team. It's so that like the team knew, and so like they're still playing their ass off, but they also knew he couldn't throw. And it's just like at some point you're going to stop playing. And then you had the whole body slam because games started getting tag.
Awesome. I cannot wait to show. I'm going to put that on repeat 14 times.
We'll talk about that. But that's
great.
game one. Just left a bad taste in my mouth going into game two. Game two, Bengals, Chiefs. Everybody knew it was going to be a good game. One team was going to win by a field goal, give or take, one way or the other. Both teams had their chances. Both quarterbacks had their chances. Neither one of them played, in my opinion, particularly well. Both had glimpses of decency. Mahomes definitely wins the QB battle for the game, gutted out the ankle, which you could tell was sore, but was much better than I think anyone anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then play of the game on the last play, even if he doesn't get pushed out of bounds, gets the first down, puts himself in position where, a lot of guys would have just not been able to gut through that or make that run. You could tell he was uncomfortable pushing off of it. There's a reason he didn't do it all game. So great play at the end. Hated, again, ref show. Both sides. Just inconsistencies, holding, not holding, and the refs missed two huge calls that mattered the most in the game. And that's not to say they didn't miss calls against Cincinnati throughout the game, but the return and then the final play of the game, you had, Kansas City get 5 downs at one point. Again, not Kansas City's fault. They're just playing the game. They ran off the field. They weren't expecting to go back on the field. They get 2 more downs. That whole thing was weird. Didn't end up costing Cincinnati anything other than the fact that, their defense had to play 2 more plays. So again, it's those small things that those refs are impacting where they're just flat out wrong or incompetent that have to stop. Like, we cannot have that shit.
Right.
Like, it's too important. Like, there's too much on the line for these guys putting their bodies on the lines. There's too much on the lines for American people gambling their own hard-earned money. And you've now embraced that, NFL. Like, you've embraced the gambling side. You're making money off of it. Like, get your shit together. And again, to screw things up that badly in the biggest moments, just leave a super sour taste for how the game ends of, like, not feeling like you got the full product or that you got robbed of something throughout that game because a ref couldn't make a very simple decision, or someone couldn't buzz down and give them information that was very obvious to the naked eye. It's one thing to, have to review some stuff and get it right, but ultimately, like, you can't have the huge screw ups on national television and the audience know right away, and someone either not helping the refs out or the refs not helping themselves out in those moments. And just way too many of them this year as a whole. And now in the postseason also coming to light where either missed calls or wrong calls are costing snaps, points, games, and it's got to stop. At some point, it's got to stop. They're going to make mistakes. I completely understand that, but we have way too much technology and way too many angles that we can see instantaneously at home for those not to be corrected, and we go on with it. And the best thing they've done during the playoffs is this whole buzz down to the field, get the call right. We don't have to go to the video replay and stuff like that. It can't be that inconsistent. Like, if you and I can watch and be, hey, buzz down, then that's fine. It's 12 seconds of gameplay or 15 seconds of gameplay, which these guys are always in such a hurry to wind the damn clock and get the next play going and stuff like that. And it's like, man, you want to delay a game, 0.2 seconds after the play clock runs from 0 when you wound it at 40. And now you know how much time you just wasted throwing the flag on a delay a game? You delayed the game more.
Right.
So who's delaying the game here?
Yeah.
I just have a problem with how all that goes down.
Yeah, the inconsistencies of the expedited review were just so apparent. Like, from game one, obviously, we've already discussed that. And even in game two, like, the Chiefs had to use their challenge, but then the Bengals didn't.
Right.
Did, but didn't, because... And I'm just like, how? If it's clear and obvious immediately, you have all the angles.
The red challenge flags have to go. We talked about that. Like, there's no reason for them.
Not unless you change their purpose.
Right.
Like for roughing the passer, like you give them other value.
Yeah.
Because no, they should all come from upstairs. They have every view. They should know it almost immediately. There's a damn chip in the football, which no one's addressed even more from the NFL side.
Right.
If there's a chip in the football, you should have way more data of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's what kills me about now this expedited review is the fact that, like, you have all the angles. Like,
and we've had multiple problems now in the postseason with the first down chains.
Yeah.
Those should be digital at this point.
Why is there an actual chain?
There's no reason for it. If there's a chip, there's no need for a chain.
What?
I mean, even if there's two sticks, there shouldn't be a chain on it because there should be
two sticks,
a laser between there and a laser that goes across the field. I mean, we've talked about this. Yeah. This is not like overtly difficult technology. Like, this is basic. Like, when they go out and, try to set boundary lines in a field, for an acreage, for building a house. Like, these are very basic technology items that have been around for years.
And I mean, who was it who stretched for the first down? Was it Higgins?
No, it was a Chiefs receiver. Oh. It was Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, Scantling. So the only reason that worked is because there was a camera on the pylon
straight down the line,
straight down the first down marker.
Yeah. And they got the call right.
It got it right. I was nothing wrong with that, but we have the technology. Yeah. Just utilize it. Just make it what it is.
Right.
And maybe it will reduce some of these ref calls because they're not trying to do 17 things. Maybe they'll get a little better.
Yeah.
I couldn't finish that.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah. So that's. My rant to start the day was just as good as the second game was. Again, most of the people that I hang around or am around on a consistent basis are Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
So that was a big win for them. My wife watched in the basement. I watched upstairs. I did find myself pulling slightly for the Bengals, but simply because when it really started was when they got the 5 downs and they brought the entire team back on the field. And they show that the guy that came, the ref, I think he was the back judge, come into the play. Post snap, to blow this play dead. And no one recognizes the guy. No one slows down because of the play. I mean, they showed it all 22. Nothing happens. And yet somehow 45 seconds to a minute later, we're taking another third down snap for the Chiefs after the Bengals just got off the field because that ref came in and it was a clock issue. And that's fine. Like, I understand the clock issue. Either the clock didn't stop or didn't start, one of the two.
So what happened, because I was questioning it, the penalty happened third down, whatever.
Right.
He said, on my whistle, the clock will run and 10 seconds on the play clock will both run.
Correct.
Well, the thing, it was incomplete, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but fine.
Right.
He knows better. Let's just roll with it. That was the issue. He said the clock will run on my whistle when it never should have. Right. So it took 5 seconds off the clock.
And that's so hard to, so correctly so. What he blew the whistle for wasn't incorrect.
All of what they did was
the problem I have is why
delay.
can't you just add these? I mean, you're watching. You can add 5 seconds back to the game without taking that play away.
Well, because I believe it is the rule of that play never existed. The play never existed.
But it did.
But it did, but it didn't.
Well, but the play, once the snap goes, the play exists, my opinion. That guy did not blow the play dead before. And now if half the team stops, I get that. Nobody stopped. Nobody stopped for the Bengals. I mean, you can watch the entire play.
It was a play.
Ball snapped. Like, at that point, we're watching the clock. We see that 5 seconds needed to go back on the clock. The play stands, and we're putting 5 seconds back onto the clock because the clock ran while the play clock ran from 10 to 5. The ball was snapped at 5.
Right.
So that's 5 seconds. Very easy math. Correct. Hey, please reset the game clock to this. It'll be now be fourth down. Right. I don't remember if the play was incomplete or if he caught it short. And
all I know is they didn't get the first, but they got the first eventually.
Right. So I mean, and they end up punting actually on that drive.
No, they didn't. So back to that. No, they didn't.
Yeah, because he got sacked and then it ended up being 4th and 8.
No, he didn't. He got sacked, but it was a penalty on the defense.
No, I know, but
after that,
the next play, they
didn't eventually.
They didn't get points on that.
Not in that drive.
But that's the point.
Why didn't it also?
I started rooting for the Bengals.
Why did? That's fair. Why didn't New York? Why did not someone buzz in?
I have no idea.
And say you're wrong.
Right.
That's the other thing of it.
Right.
Just buzz down and say you're wrong.
Yeah. So I don't. I mean, that's
or the ref that's running the clock going
the clock. Right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, this is wrong.
So again, like, there's no perfect answer, but like that's the point that I kind of was like, all right, they're really like, okay, they're trying to screw the Chiefs over here. Like, what's going on?
The Bengals.
But, but at the same point, like just earlier than that is when they allowed the Bengals not to have to challenge a play
that the Chiefs
had to challenge earlier, and it's just like, okay, that doesn't add up either.
No.
So it was just, again, like the fact that we're sitting here talking about it means that it was a ref show, which means that the what we got to see on the field wasn't the top product because the refs mattered more than the game.
It's championship weekend. Let them play football.
Right. And then ultimately, like the end of the game, we're going to watch clips. Clearly, in my opinion, you can watch really slow motion angles, but that's going to be a call to late hit 10 out of 10 times. I haven't seen that missed. That's something that they're
on a quarterback.
Yeah, on Mahomes specifically. Clearly not running anywhere but out of bounds. Had another defender closer to him pull off. Just so many things, and then, what you're going to get on the other end is all the things that the Chiefs did wrong, holding, et cetera, on that play and other plays, which I don't disagree with. But you just hate to see it come to that. And Butker absolutely nutted that last kick.
Sure did.
In really tough conditions, and he pimped the shit out of it. So, like, kudos to them. You still got to make the kick.
Yeah.
You still got to make the plays. Just hate to see it in that way. And again, make it feel like the ref show at the end of the game.
At the end of the day, we believe both teams in both games that we're the better team won.
Yeah.
And we're seeing what we want to watch in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the teams with fewer weaknesses won the games.
If the refs take over the Super Bowl, I'm losing my shit.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's just let them play.
Hey, just wait till you're.
No, I know.
I know you saw
a teaser into why I say that the refs will be involved. Why would we say that? I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. There's a reason. Shitty shot number 1.
Ooh,
Blue raspberry.
yeah. That'd be delightful.
You're just going vodka and vodka. I don't know if that's actually considered vodka. This might be considered, just a liqueur.
So, quick recap. 49ers, Eagles, 2.5, 46.5 is where we had them last week. And Stoy and special guest Andrew were both on the Eagles and both on the under. So they both went 3-0 in that. I was on the 49ers and the under, so I was 1-2 in that. Unfortunate mishap. And then Bengals, which this ended up flipping all the way to Chiefs, 1.5 to 2.5 even. But Bengals were 1.5 point favorites when we were talking last week. Stoy and I both took Cincinnati. Andrew took Kansas City. And not only did Andrew take Kansas City, but I would also like to point out, and kudos to him, he called it the Mahomes ankle game.
Yep.
And while Mahomes had a couple of bad throws, Mahomes did throw for 320 yards. He did have 2 more receivers or 3 receivers go out during the game.
3.
Besides Kelsey, basically everybody went out at some point. Maybe Juju Smith, but he's been
Scantling's the one who
Yeah, Scantling actually showed up for him.
Yes.
Made some good throws, but and then Mahomes had the whole scramble for the game winner, basically, ankle at the end. So he really nailed the shit out of that.
He did.
Other than he had the over in that Bengals Chiefs game.
Silly.
I mean, the guy had a great guest appearance. Reminds me a lot of myself when I first called in.
Exactly.
And should have remained a guest.
should have remained a guest.
So
just kept my guest tag.
Right. Kudos to Andrew on that. And a great 5-1 week. Stoy, good week overall. 4-2. Everything but Cincinnati there, and obviously Chiefs went on a game-winning field goal. So I was 2-4, had both the unders, and didn't pick a team right. So what you get for living on an edge.
Yeah. So Cole he had two because we
had a carryover.
Down. We had a carryover.
So I'll have my my blue raspberry, and I'll have my peppermint. Here as we continue through the show, we are going to jump right into Twitter news. Because a lot of the stuff we are going to start out with specifically is going to be plays that relate directly to what we were talking about. Some we agree with, some we disagree with, some that are going to show us some different angles. Just a little bit of, highlighting of the game or games. So... Say there. I mean, there's a lot. So we'll probably have to skip through quite a bit today, but the Lane Johnson one, I think, was right there. Let's start with that one. So this is Lane Johnson. He's playing, again, the tackle closest to us here. Boom, he's got halfway back in his right stance. And again, if you are a tackle in the NFL and you get to do that for a pass drop, you are going to win. And Lane Johnson, I mean, look at that. And people will say, oh, they miss, one. Sometimes the defense kind of anticipates jumps off sides. They don't call it type of thing, perfect snap timing. Lane Johnson did that for a majority of the game and never got called. I mean, look at that.
That's.
I mean, the left tackle might have even been a little bit offsides, and
correct.
He was a whole half a count.
I'm okay with the left tackle, right? Like in comparison,
yeah.
That's egregious.
Boom. I mean,
they're both
not even remotely close.
Now, apparently, someone on Twitter had said that there's a weird thing about the rules, and I'm like, no,
there's nothing weird about that rule. That is a false start 100% of the time.
False starts. There's false starts. Both of them, but this is
like the left tackle I can be okay with just because you can say that maybe the center, it's kind of like that, the defensive end that gets right on the, I would say that he's close because at least at that point, Kelsey's moving that wrist. The right tackle is, it's not close.
No, that
is 5 yards every time.
Lane Johnson is a good 2 yards behind before
anyone else. Look where he is compared to the running, where the running back would mesh. He's at the same blocking point, making contact with one of the best pass rushers in football.
I really hope we're not seeing that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So that will need to be
So same
adjusted.
game. This is the angle.
This is the angle. It's like the third angle we saw on TV of the Devontae Smith drop. You clearly see the ball hitting the ground. Same exact thing happened to Scantling in the Eagles or in the Bengals Chiefs game. They got it right in one game, got it wrong in the other one. It's points. It's points on the board, whether it's 3 points or 7 points. In that case, it was 7 points. And in that case, it was 4th down for the Eagles. So just giving points to the other team. And again, you got to show the GOAT. So this was, this is funny now, but 49ers bringing in a QB for their injured one. Whee! You're going to pull him out, and he's just going to jump right back.
We're good.
We're good. We're good. Shake it off. Shake it off.
We'll be fine.
No!
And we're back to where we
yes. So, just bad football.
Yes.
Trent Williams.
This will be something we'll just.
So they're getting into it. The defensive back won't let go. Trent Williams has had enough at this point.
I mean, just
his season is over, and he's done with everybody's crap. And Trent Williams.
I like how they ejected him. Cool, 4 minutes left.
So you think football cities and there's certain teams, Pittsburgh, Chicago, teams that are just have a toughness to them, especially on defense. But there's certain guys in the NFL that you'd like to see him take on a whole team. Trent Williams is one of those dudes.
He's definitely one of those dudes.
He could just take on a team, and I feel like I might feel bad for the team because he's ready to take on the world. First of all, his season is over, but there's not one person on the Philadelphia roster or the whole Philadelphia roster for that matter that Trent Williams is backing down from.
No.
So
now, and I get it, the Eagles aren't going to do much here because, they're going to the Super Bowl and whatnot. But no one really tried to, that's a couple punches.
I like that 42 stood up and gave a shove to another lineman. It's dude, you got a death wish?
Yeah, right.
Come on, bro.
This was just...
Yeah, you just keep holding on. They try to pull him off. He's like, no, you're going to get the hell off of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and he got off.
Purdy's still in there with his arm in his...
broken arm,
heat sleeve.
Yeah.
So.
That's not the video. Oh, is this? Yeah. Didn't we have a video of this?
Yeah, so this is the play where he gets shoved. 89 shoves the guy into the punter, number 24. He beats him.
There's no way.
He turns and he shoves him right into the back into the kicking leg of the punter. The Eagles got a first down on this play.
You're blocked.
They get 15 yards and a first down. First of all, he ran into the right leg. Second of all, he was pushed directly into him after the guy just got smoked by this block. Because you have to call something on 89 if you're going to call something on the 49ers here. This guy didn't willingly run into the punter.
No.
So there you go. That's one of the plays where that's 7 more points for the Eagles. For those counting at home, that's 14 of their 31 so far that were given them by the refs.
If you are engaged, that you cannot be penalized. That's the same thing. You can't do that, right?
Yeah. So,
whatever.
We'll come back to that.
Let's see if I missed anything. All right, get started on these.
This is the big play into the game. So a lot of people are calling for a hold on 91, which the hold on 91, I would argue, happens each play. I don't think Hendrickson did a great job of selling the hold and or fighting off the block. Because the big thing I have with this is that 57 has good inside leverage and is never beat.
Correct.
And so you're very rarely going to get holding. The bigger hold is on 65 here. When you hook
there
and hold a guy by his arm or helmet when you are clearly beat right now, that's holding. And that's the guy that allows him to get out of the pocket. And the bigger problem I have with this is earlier in the game, Chris Jones gets double teamed, splits the double team, and the double team immediately goes and does exactly what this guy gets. The Bengals get a 15, 20-yard play for it, get called for holding. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's holding. Like, Chris Jones dominated that double team, and one of the guys held. Like, that is what it is. That's also holding. Like, you got to call holding in the biggest minutes. This was one of the more disappointing ones. This was one against the Chiefs. They didn't let the big man celebrate. He probably had a good block on that play, maybe a pancake.
Right.
He gets called for taunting. Like, come on.
A very weak taunt.
Let the big guy dance a little. You know, like, if I don't know who 94 is, but if 94 would have gotten a sack on that play, you know what he would have done? Some type of sack dance. Right. You know, let the offensive lineman have a little fun. What a terrible celebration, though. So
awful celebration.
You know,
maybe
it's
give him a
exactly
flag for that.
what you'd expect off of a white guy celebration.
But here it is. This is the
gunner.
This is the bad one
on the punt that set up the final play. So this is the gunner. This is the first of two terribly missed calls. So 23 gets beat. 6 is beat by one of the bullets.
47,
as they call them,
or whatever. 17, whatever.
Yeah. So 17 wins against both of them. And then just gets shoved in the back by 23. So there's a first flag.
Only as he's shoved, this may be a hold right there.
Right. So 6 is holding on to him while he gets shoved. So like there's block in the back number 1. So remember that. That one didn't get called, obviously.
Is this the one that shows it? Oh, this is the longer one. Yeah.
So now, missed it. Happens right away. Right here, 47 is going to run up, and 47, if he's smart, stops and turns around. However, there's a slow-mo version of this play because it looks in real time. I saw this and texted you immediately. Right. I said, blocking the back on 47, that's coming back. And then the play.
Do we have a slow-mo of that one?
Yeah, it's down. I didn't find it until later on. It's one of the probably last handful of plays that I have. Yeah, right here. So this is the other angle. So 85's in great blocking position. Here comes 47. Watch this guy go forward.
Yep.
With a knee right in the middle of his back. Oh, who's going down the sideline? So mind you, during this play, you had 23, the gunner, beat 2 guys down the sideline, get shoved in the back and not flagged. And then at the point of tackle, you have 47 shove the other contained man on the punt return. So if you throw the flag on the return, it's 10 yards from, I don't know if it's from the spot of the catch or how that, if you throw this flag, it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Right. So like best case scenario, the Chiefs are starting this drive from like the 18-yard line. Mm-hmm. Instead, they started it from the 45. Just a game changer. Two really blatant calls that I think were more blatant than anything that happened even on the last play where the Chiefs get called for, or the Bengals get called for the late hit out of bounds, which again, I agreed with.
Just feel for that guy. Like, we're not even going to show that one because it is what it is. This one, however.
This is earlier in the game, kind of a nothing play. And let me be very clear.
He sold it.
I don't want to see a flag on this play.
No.
But if you're going to call a late hit out of bounds, and
call a late hit on the quarterback,
then you got to call a late hit on the quarterback. 1, 2, 3. Left arm to the shoulder. And no, like, was anyone in danger of getting hurt there? No. Absolutely not.
Could Burrow have just stood there and not got shoved
can't,
to the ground? Debatably.
Right. Like, you can't.
You have to call that.
I mean, that's a dumb play. Like, if you want to tell me how dumb the play by Osai was, then tell me how dumb the play by Clark is. Yep. Because there's absolutely no reason in the NFL today, when you know how soft they are on throwing flags on quarterbacks, that this isn't going to get called, first of all. And second of all, that you aren't just a dipshit for throwing an arm at a guy for no reason. Correct. And, you know, it went uncalled. And, like, again, do I want to see a flag on that? No. But we have to have some consistency at some point. and you can't decide when you want to decide football games and when you don't.
Yeah.
And that's
just call it
overarchingly
and that's
the issue.
And that's as players and coaches, that's all we want.
Yeah.
Just call it the same always, so we know.
Right.
What you're doing is you're ruining a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Just ruining a lot of things there.
So those were the big plays, I think, from both of those games, again, that were just super irritating and just need to be taken out of the game. So we did have big coaching news over the last few days in the NFL. Do you want to jump into that?
Yeah, I'm looking for him.
Okay.
The little kid.
Yeah. So the biggest one, I guess, in my opinion, is Sean Payton going to New Orleans, or going from New Orleans to Denver, to the Broncos. Excuse me. He Bronco country. Let's ride. No, that is not
actually.
That is not Sean Payton. Thank you.
Looks like
we
it.
do know that's Kevin James.
I don't even know if we actually have. I think that's what you.
No, that's the only one I put in there. Yep.
But anyways,
I purposely didn't put another one in.
Sean Payton is going to be your new head coach for Broncos country.
Yeah, and you kind of were telling me the details.
Yeah, details are a first rounder 2023. So bye-bye Broncos first rounder going to the Saints. I don't really love that because it helps the Saints. And then also, I think it's a mid-rounder, so like a second or a third, I believe, late second, early third.
For this year as well?
For next year, for 2024. And then the Saints will be giving a pick as well. Years has not been
so essentially
said.
Broncos get a head coach for a first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, let's just boil that down.
Okay.
They got a first round. They give up a first round for a head coach.
Okay.
With a team that is, I mean, defensively, they're fine.
Right.
The offense is the issue. Now, fun thing you didn't know is prior to that, DeMeco Ryans, defense coordinator for the Niners, signed a 6-year deal with the Texans.
Correct.
The Broncos had swooned away him. They were working on a deal with him at the Broncos, and he said nope and recommitted to the Texans.
Okay,
so then the Broncos went back to get Sean.
Okay. I did see that
now
Ryan said no.
My question
to the Broncos.
My question there is like,
what the timeline on that was.
How was Sean the backup in that situation? And I don't mean that because Sean Payton's a better coach than DeMeco Ryans.
Right.
Although,
I mean,
let's be real.
Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
But I mean,
your defense isn't the issue. Is what I was getting at.
Yeah,
your defense isn't the issue.
100%.
Your offense is clearly an issue.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go get an offensive-minded coach, Sean Payton, blah, 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 right? So that I was like, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. So Sean Payton's
But I mean, was he first and then they didn't want to give up a first-round pick, so they're like, hey, if we can get DeMeco Ryans.
We'll never know.
Right. But I mean, that's my thought process is like, let's give up less.
Although.
And let's keep our defense really good. And then bring in an offensive mind.
But your defense is good and you have your defense coordinator. Like,
I don't disagree, but he's not going to be the head coach.
No, but he's going to be the defense coordinator.
I don't know. Yeah.
And now you have Sean Payton. So I think the Broncos
49ers had a pretty decent defense. So, like, I don't think the Broncos were in danger of going.
No, they're not going to get worse.
Right.
So, and that was my point. Like, your defense is not getting worse. It can get better. But your offense definitely can take.
But it just shows you how much, like, Harbaugh was continuing, even after he said he was going back to Michigan. Yeah. Like, people can. The NFL guys continued to go pursue Harbaugh.
And I think a great spot for Peyton. I think it's a great spot for the Broncos.
Yeah.
It's going to work out very, very well. Mm-hmm. DeMeco to the Texans, I don't love it for him because of the historically bad ownership when it comes to coaches.
But I do like the pieces they have there. It's going to be a tough spot for your first spot. That's my thing. But he's playing in the right division.
He is playing in the right division. And he's going to bring some nastiness to that defense. So I do like it for him. I don't love it.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't love it. I do love that for the Broncos, though. Good for them.
I've seen worse guys put in worse spots very recently when it comes to that. So,
all right. Should we tease into what's next? Hey, did you know? Did you know?
Well,
did you know?
Wait, real quick. Kellen Moore.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that one.
Who the Cowboys decided was no longer going to be their offensive coordinator because he was the problem in Dallas. Very quickly rebounded and is now going to be the offensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers. And he gets to upgrade from Dak to Herbert, and gets to, have the toys to play with there, whether it be, Herbert, Eckler. You've got Mike Jones, and Keenan Allen. So he's got some good toys there in Los Angeles, and I think landed well, as I think everyone expected that he was going to get a good job, whether it be a head coaching opportunity or an offensive coordinator job. I think he's
high. Is McCarthy taking over now?
No, I mean, I just think
idea too,
they were going to do something.
They had to blame somebody.
Dallas. Yeah, and I think. Well, I mean, I think he had interviewed for a couple head coaching jobs. So I think, was it a distraction thing? Was it, time for something new there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can call it whatever you wanted. Ultimately, he didn't perform, or Dak didn't perform. However that didn't work.
I also don't know how much McCarthy
games
is involved with it.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's an offensive coordinator.
I don't know that he's going to go. Do you think he's going to go back to calling plays? I mean, sometimes I'm like, hey,
I don't
let's put it on him. And
with the Cowboys, which I this is why I never know with your team ever of anything that's going on, because your owner is a psychopath.
Right.
So how much is Jerry Jones involved with all of this? I have no clue.
100% involved.
Which makes it so tough to be like,
right.
How do you judge any of your coaches?
Right. So, I mean, 100% he was involved. Now, was he involved? Did McCarthy say something to him, and therefore they decided that more needed to go because McCarthy wasn't going to go? I mean, Jerry's backed McCarthy a long time. And at some point, any coach that comes into Dallas is going to kneel to Jerry in some way that most coaches aren't going to do that.
Is he 90-something?
Yeah. He's not 90. He's only late 70s.
God, he's got
maybe early 80s. I don't know. Regardless, he's what's holding the franchise back more than anything, in my opinion. But he is the owner, so they are the most profitable team in all of sports.
Good for them.
Good
for them.
Not that he doesn't want to win, but
does he?
No, I think he absolutely wants to win. I just think that he's his own worst enemy when it comes to that. That he wants to be the reason why they're winning as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, can we finally get to it?
Let's get to
because it's golf season.
GOLF, golf.
Well, just for this week, and then we're gonna get back to football, and then we'll go to full golf. So it's a little teaser.
Dive into some basketball, and then back to golf.
And we don't get to play golf for another 3 months.
I mean, you got to go inside.
If we're lucky.
You got to go inside here.
I still have not swung a golf club since outside.
It's all your fault. It's your fault.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Nobody's swinging that golf club for you.
Not like you invite me, so there's what it is.
I haven't been that much, so.
So it's your own fault. It's golf season. Yeah. If you guys knew this. A lot of things going on, but we're going to...
A lot of chippiness in the golf off season this year.
Yeah, we're going to lead with that. Obviously, we're going to get to Pebble, okay? But before then, we're going to lead off with our guy, Phil. By the way, golf's coming back. Our Phil reel is popping back up a little more hits now.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's get Phil back out there. All right?
Wait, do we need to set the stage for this? Do we have the T flick?
Yeah, but it's not easily.
Yeah, I mean, so
readily
available. Last week, European Tour.
We talked about it.
DP World Tour. Yeah. That's where Patrick Reed flips the tee at Rory McIlroy. Basically, Rory ignored him on the range. Reed had a tee with his live team name on it. Kind of the old, brotherly love flick of the tee back towards Rory. Neither one of them likes each other. Patrick Reed has filed lawsuits and then wants to play
he has subpoenaed basically everyone.
Yeah,
he tried to get
he's
Tiger.
Just a big baby, and then
Tiger's
just
team
complains about it afterwards. So the whole thing. But Phil had a comment that we're gonna go into here on that whole situation, and then we've just got some more Phil news as well.
Here's Phil. I thought it was great for the game. when you have controversy in the game, I think it creates a lot more excitement and a lot more awareness. What transpired early in the week with Patrick and Rory added to the excitement level.
Yeah.
What do you feel about his quote?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just, a little banter back and forth, like the whole Bengals, Burrowhead, Kelsey reaction, after the game, like, it's not Burrowhead, it's Mahomes' house, that type of thing. Told the mayor to shut up and know his role. Like whether it's football, baseball, basketball, it doesn't matter. Like, you just don't see it as much in golf. With getting more behind the scenes looks, golf becoming more and more transparent, trying to play to the newer generation. Absolutely. Like, can't disagree with the quote.
No,
at all.
No, not at all. The only thing I don't like about the situation is all the damn subpoenas that P. Reed's doing. That, don't be a douche that way, okay?
Right.
The T thing, fine. That's funny.
Absolutely.
And by the way, he still didn't pick it up or look at you. So I'm just saying, P. Reed, you might want to.
Also, Rory finished off the tournament playing in the same final group as Reed and hit a mid-range putt to seal the deal on the final hole. He beat him 19 under to 18 under. So they finished 1-2 in the tournament to make it all the sweeter for Rory.
Just to make it all better.
To finish it off. So
to be fair though, if and we're gonna start betting on golf more.
Yeah.
If I was to put my money between two players, I would not put it on P. Reed.
No.
It would not have been close. So just saying.
The one thing the dude has proved over time is that, like, when it comes to Ryder Cups, clutch time, stuff like that,
he'll step up.
He does usually deliver.
Yeah. It's just the other
kind of thrives on that, but he also thrives on being a douchebag.
Yeah, he's just a douchebag. He actually, and I've said it on the pod before, is he has the punch me face.
Yeah.
There's people in the world that when you look at him, you just want to punch him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's pure.
Right.
Like that he just, whatever, I'd punch him in the face.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Yeah. So, Phil, he tweeted this himself.
Yeah.
The tour doesn't allow shorts, but does allow this week's leader to wear joggers with ankle socks, showing 4 inches of ankle. I'm not a fashion guy, never will be, but there are some things I won't ever understand. So, don't worry about it. We found it.
Yeah.
And I don't know who group chat golf is. Shout out to you.
Good response.
But this is great.
Yeah.
If this is 4 inches, then guys everywhere are celebrating today. Very generous of you.
Yes.
And to be fair, that's not 4 inches.
Also, not 4 inches, but also I cannot disagree with Phil's take.
No, I mean those aren't pants.
Like, it's one thing for that to go down to like the edge of the sock or something like that. Like, that I get that's the Euro style and stuff like that.
Style.
But like, those are even short for Euro standards, in my opinion.
Not anymore. We'll see. We'll see if that's the new tick of the year.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Not a great look. But Sam Ryder also didn't deliver on Sunday, so kind of shit the bed.
We've seen that. That's a theme this year.
Yeah.
By the way, with players who have legitimately finished.
People not closing well.
I want someone to put this together for us though. When you sent this, and I have already seen it, but like that's Brady. It looks like the same shit that happened with Brady of like
lost a whole bunch of weight.
Just a whole bunch of weight, and like it didn't work out well for Brady. I just want everyone to know that.
Sunk in.
Everything sunk in, and Phil's saying he's down to his college weight. I don't know if that's good. And then here's some side-by-side 3 months apart.
Yeah. Well, and like Phil's whole diet, like when he started losing the weight, was like that whole either coffee or tea thing.
Yeah,
where he basically starved himself all day and then or weak and then like and so like to me this is what happens to your body after you continue to do something like that. Your eyes start bugging out and he's obviously, in my opinion, maybe he's doing well now mentally, but like gone through a lot of shit, gone through a lot of stress.
Yes.
And like it seems to me that his face is showing that.
Correct.
Now, great that he's down to, college weight and stuff like that. So like there's hopefully some benefits to his health there. But again, like on the surface, it looks like it's been more detrimental to his health overall than
we shall see.
But he's expecting to have a good year, said his body feels good, and that he's in a good spot. So
All I'm saying is Brady went through this, and all of a sudden he went shitty.
Yeah.
Golfers who lose a bunch of weight really doesn't help you hit the ball with mass. You don't have your mass anymore.
Yeah.
Phil was a feel player. That's almost tough to say.
Yeah.
Phil's a feel player. Phil is a feeler.
Yeah.
And when you change your body comp, he
Yeah.
says he's swinging better and all that. Okay. I'm just saying.
100%.
I won't be tracking him, by the way, so it doesn't matter because he's definitely not on the tour that I watch. So
Well, that's all right. You can get him on the CW.
the what?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So there it is. We're back.
Max Homa was a winner last week.
Homa. Did you
Brought
did
up
you
from Pine Back.
why didn't I send that clip? The clip that they interviewed him going down the fairway. They're
Yeah.
starting to do that more now. Like the Euros have been
So
doing
he was
forever.
the first one on the PGA Tour live round to be interviewed at, like, basically as he's playing his ball. So hits
On
off the
par
tee. He's wearing an earpiece the entire time, or like a Bluetooth headset or whatever, just like what we've seen in the match and stuff like that. So he walks down the par 5, talks about what he wants to do on his next shot, which he doesn't end up doing actually. Hits his next ball actually into the side of a big ass bank with a sand bunker and some really shitty rough.
Basically where he said he didn't want to go.
And he finds, the place he was avoiding. He finds his ball, marks it with a T, makes a snide comment, basically involving Patrick Reed, because his ball ends up being embedded.
Yeah.
They'd gotten a lot of rain there and stuff like that, so the rough was really gnarly. As a rules official, come check it out. Rules official said, yes, it's embedded. You can take a drop. So they go through that whole thing while he's talks through the next shot, and kind of finishes the hole with him. Talks about how he was tired from climbing up the bunker hill. So, like, just a very, like, you and I out on the golf course type of conversation. Very humanizing. Saw him hit a couple of shitty shots, kind of, and like prove that you can still do that type of stuff and win a golf tournament. So it was just kind of cool to see.
It was.
That was on Saturday.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of it. I want to see more of it. Yeah. Do I want it on every one of them? No, I don't think it needs to be everybody. Mm-hmm. But tune in every now and again because it's a lot better than those announcers.
Right.
And what I like the most about it is you get to see, because usually we cut from a shot to a shot to a shot to a shot to announcers to a commercial. Like, that's all you see. Mm-hmm. You never get to see them walking around what is going on from behind the scenes, and that's really cool to see every now and again.
Well, yeah, and because he was waiting on the par 5 to hit his second shot, and so, like, they literally asked him, like, hey, what do you think about in these moments? And he's like, oh, I think about having a cool accent. I think about this. I think about what I'm going to eat. I think about what I'm going to do with my kid later. Like, just very, again, humanizing, very good conversation. Home was one of the best when it comes to social media, if not the best.
He's hilarious.
Just as far as being open, being a guy that, doesn't take the game too seriously, but at the same point when they asked him, they're like, he's like, in the next, 30 seconds leading up to my shot, like, I'm going to focus in on my shot. Like, no, you're not going to talk to me. Like, we can do that, like, where he can separate, game and, personal. There's some guys that can't. There's some guys that, like, they're not going to be the guys we give the mics to on the course, and those are going to be your old guard type of guys, and that's fine. Like, we're not asking every PGA Tour player out there to do it, but the guys that are comfortable doing it, let's do it, and let's get an inside look at it. I honestly, like, Tiger in his prime, his dad would not in a million years have ever allowed someone to put a microphone or anything anywhere near him.
No.
And so some of that, I think, is just the old guard, new guard thing. Tiger
will do it. And he will do it.
He'll do it now.
He'll do it now.
But, like, never in a million years. And now, it wouldn't have been a thing then, but there still would have been guys like John Daly. You could have done that to at any time. Like, there's just certain players,
could
like,
you imagine?
They would have been right. That they would have been okay doing it. And then there's certain players that like,
just which is fine.
And
but it needs to happen.
But it's just weird that Tiger would have so much been not the guy in his prime and would be now.
And now he's going to.
So, like, I mean, I assume we'll hear from Jordan. Assume we'll hear from Rory, Tiger, guys like that.
I bet Tiger's first one they do is at Augusta.
So,
unless
like,
Augusta says no to doing it.
Right. And they could as well. So, but definitely something to look forward to.
But it's golf.
Yeah.
Getting back into it.
So.
I got to go swing. But that's it. Golf's coming. And that's what we're going to get into. I'm going to get a refill because I want it and I need it.
Need it.
While you pull up the... Well, do you need help?
Yep.
Or, do you need help with that?
Yeah, no shit. I mean, shit. Maybe.
All right. So, football's done, man. Sad day.
I had to call my wife, have her come open this for me.
You need to figure that shit out.
Just walk away. Just walk away, bro. My defense, there's some residue on there. You can definitely tell. Yeah. They glued it. Some bullshit.
All right. So what we will do going forward is you're going to get that sheet, and you're going to get details, and we're going to make a thingamabob.
Ooh. Thingamajig,
and that way we'll post it up there. Like as we talk through this, you'll be able to see exactly what the hell we're talking about and go through it, and to let you know. So go back to overall standings. New season.
Okay.
We do have to agree on to some rules that we ran into last year.
Hey,
So we just need to verify, and that you all hear us and we can record it because just one of us, likes to not agree to things that we agreed to and throw fights about them later.
I don't know.
So,
whatever.
We're going to do...
Ryan.
Damn, Ryan. We do an overall points for the season.
Yep.
So, winner of each category, and we'll get through the categories as we go, but winner of each category receives 3 points. There's only 2 of us, so we're going to go 3 and 1, right? If we tie... Guess what? We both get those points. If you miss a cut on all categories outside of the player to fade, you get 0 points. Now, you do have, if your player to fade wins, shitty shot. Okay?
Yeah.
You get extra points if you have an outright winner. So we choose outright winner, one and dones, top 40, Black Stallion, which is 500 to 1 odds or greater, and then we do player to fade. So the one that you think is going to do worse that week and their best, and hopefully the best fade. So you get extra points if the outright winner wins. You get extra 5 points. If your player to fade is, really good and decides to win the tournament, just happened, you lose 5 points. Okay. So shitty shots. How do we earn them? The 2 that are always going to be there, or outright winner, if they miss the cut, shitty shot automatically.
Yeah.
For anybody. Could be both of us. And if your fade wins, also automatic shitty shot. Yeah. We will also have side bets periodically. It happened a lot last season. And then, so last year, we had this situation, and we were talking through it about, so your outright winner. I can't say that very
Easy
well.
for you to say.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The guy who wins
Phil the Feeler.
Right. I could say that. Whatever.
Yep.
He misses cut. It's shitty shot. But what about your one and done? That was an argument you had. Was should your one and done also, if they miss a cut, be a shitty shot?
I mean, you don't want them to miss the cut. But we already have a lot of
shitty shots.
So I don't know that it's necessary.
Agreed.
I think if either one hits, it's 1. If both hit, it's still 1.
So no, okay. But
I mean, you tell me.
I mean, all I'm saying is your fade to win doesn't happen that often.
Right.
So that one is rarity.
Yeah.
So really, you only have one a week unless we up our side. I mean, we do get aggressive with side bets.
No, with golf, we're always
So
aggressive. with
we're good
side
with
bets.
those.
Yeah. Okay.
Automatic shitty shots, outright winner, miscut, shitty shot. Your fade wins, shitty shot, and then our side bets because we always have at least 2 of those.
Yes.
Gets aggressive.
Seemingly.
new little spin I wanted to add to you was season totals. So we just did it for shits and gigs.
Right.
What about this year? The winner gets to choose the charity that the loser donates to.
Okay. I can be on board for that.
What are we doing?
Do we want to do like weekly pot?
We could do weekly pot. So then we do like a.
And so then it just grows. Like we each have.
Like I said, we set a number.
Right.
And if you lose, then we're instead of season points we're tracking, we're doing season charity totals.
Charity dollars. So like, you know, whether it's $5 a week, whatever. I mean, whatever we want to do. I can get on board for that. And then like a season point winner, like that's $20 more to the pot.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah. I don't know how many weeks there are. I don't remember.
A lot. I mean, it's golf. It goes on for a while.
What is there? 20? I mean, let's do $5 because that's got to be around 100.
Right. $5 a week. And then $20 pot sweetener at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
So everybody wins.
I like it.
I already know my charity, so it's good. I'm the treasurer. So
I might switch up charity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Huh? Maybe sprinkle it around. I don't know.
There we go.
All right. So there it is. All right.
Very
let's
good,
get into
good.
Pebble.
Jump in. So fun week that we happen to be starting this year. Again, there's already been a few tournaments to start the year, but the Pebble Beach Pro-Am and tournament is this week. Pebble Beach, California. Big things to watch this week are the Pro-Am itself. Had a note here. Notable NFL/ex-NFL players playing in the Pro-Am this year. Josh Allen, who is skipping the
Pro Bowl.
Skipping the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Go play.
Which we really didn't talk about the Pro Bowl that much. We can maybe hit on that a little bit after golf, but
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there's some fun changes to the Pro Bowl stuff this year.
It'd be definitely. We'll hopefully get a bunch of clips because it's tough to like.
Yeah.
Some things we just don't know yet.
Right.
We just don't know yet.
So, yeah, maybe we'll just kind of hit on it next week after it happens. But, yeah, Josh Allen said no to the Pro Bowl. Tyler Huntley of the Baltimore Ravens, yes, that Tyler Huntley, is a Pro Bowler.
Can someone explain that?
No, I mean, just everybody else said no. I'm not diving into the weeds on that. So there's a reason why like, Pro Bowl has been kind of written out of people's contracts, and you got to make all pro. Different vote because of that shit. So Larry Fitzgerald, Aaron Rodgers, Steve Young, and Alex Smith, either former NFL or current NFL players, playing in the Celebrity Pro-Am this week at Pebble Beach. So that will be fun to watch. Decent field overall, but not
it always is
not a strong field.
No.
You're definitely going to see some names that you know. But
Fitzpatrick, Hovland, Spieth, McNeely, Power, Hogue, Putnam, Kuchar, Mitchell.
So
Rose,
I mean, you're getting
and then you're started. And then it's
right. So I mean, you got five notable names there this week.
But I think the Pebble's been dying. 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just the strength of the field has gone down.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have the rules now where you do have to rotate within the tour and make sure that you're playing all of these events. So it's one where guys will start the swing, and this will be an event that they maybe don't play. Next week, you've got the Phoenix Open, which is a huge event. Guys love to play.
A big deal.
And there's most of the young guns love to play in that event now. Some of the old guard, probably not as much. So you'll see a little switch there, but most of there's big popularity in the Phoenix Open next week. Not to mention it's going to be held at the same time in the same city as the Super Bowl.
It's going to.
I told my wife last night before, if I had too much money, too much time, there would be one place I would be for a full week. I would have already been on a plane to Phoenix. Would be
because I'm playing the
camping
course.
out.
Course is all this week.
And playing, so I would have played yesterday. I would have left on Sunday, got there, got settled in. I would have played Monday. I would have played all day Tuesday. So 2 different courses, probably maybe 4 different courses even, just depending on what I could get on. Tomorrow I would be walking. I say tomorrow. This would be next weekend. I would get there on Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday I would walk the course with the players at the Phoenix Open. Get to see everybody, take that all in. Thursday, Friday I would be in the stadium. Walking around and then in the stadium. Saturday, depending on what's available, I would probably golf again at some point, either Friday or Saturday, one of the two, maybe flip-flop that around. They also have concerts after this event, and then Sunday I would want to be there for the golf, and then I would have myself ushered from the golf course watching the final to the Super Bowl, to the suite, because I have an endless amount of money at this point and an endless way of being able to get places. And then I would also spend Monday there golfing. So like, it'd be just a full week, but she kind of looked at me and I was just like, no, like that would be like one of the dreamiest weeks ever. Like for my passions,
just to align
my passion bucket, to steal one from DP show. My passion bucket would be full.
So
that would be pretty amazing.
Last year, this was all a week earlier. Mm-hmm. It was this week.
Right.
It was Super Bowl Sunday on my birthday. With that, that would have been the week to have it. Like just birthday, Super Bowl, and Phoenix Open.
Right.
Let's go. Let's do it. But I definitely want to get down there. It's always Phoenix is always going to be around my birthday. So is the Super Bowl. So I'm always down. That'd be a fun one.
Yep.
That'd be a fun one. But it's gonna be now that we're on to Phoenix.
Well, and I have
back to Pebble
again. I've got ins for tickets.
Back to Pebble.
So no reason not to. So quick weather. Not going to do really too much of a course breakdown. Quick yardage breakdown. PGA National Champions Course, Palm Beach Gardens, 7,150 yards, par 70.
That's not the right breakdown, buddy.
No, different course.
No, it's not. I didn't type any of that in.
Oh,
no, that's just from leftover.
Oh,
I didn't delete it. So PGA is not Pebble. For those that are.
Oh, that is, sorry. My bad.
It's okay. It's
early.
It's been.
Who put this in here?
I just copy and pasted it.
I see that now.
We just never did.
That's all good. That's not Pebble Beach. Regardless.
Hence the reason I said you need to take notes.
Take notes. I just looked at the weather.
Friday. Let's go with the weather. I don't shit.
Thursday through Sunday, going to be somewhere between 57 to 60 degrees. Chance of rain on Friday for a couple hours. Chance of rain on Sunday for a couple hours. No storm systems.
Any wind? What's the windiest day? It's like Friday?
Top wind I saw was like 12 to 14. That's gusting, but mostly like 5 to 7. So I don't really see any conditions that are going to.
Just gonna be just the gettable conditions.
Yep. So I just think we're gonna see a low score win it.
Hey.
And early on, most of these courses aren't looking to. They're not going to break you. We did see last week 12 under through 2 rounds, and the final winning score was also 12 under. The rough was tough, and the wind was tough.
We're not seeing that.
So that made things difficult, but still 12 under. So it's not like the course, we didn't see birdies or anything like that. The big thing last week was that you couldn't hit the ball outside of the fairway and be rewarded, which was refreshing. So that won't be as much of the case. Pebble Beach is a shorter course, more country club style. Certain guys, West Coast guys, and certain styles that fit this a little bit better. where guys are just it's a pretty comfortable course overall. Definitely can get in some trouble in some places, but for the most part, scores should be pretty decent here. All
right.
Thoughts, feelings on the week?
No, zero, because I really haven't been watching much. I know Homo's hot, and those guys are playing, but haven't followed golf too much. Hadn't heated up. This is kind of usually when I kick off is Pebble,
right?
Because football's over, we're getting college basketball. It's just this transition time. Overall, for myself, so I won't have much. I'm gonna stick very chalk, probably related to most of these.
Okay.
As we get through them, but we'll have you've got FanDuel pulled up.
I'm not seeing any top 40 bets right now.
No, I'm only seeing top 20.
So
same thing we'll have to adjust
accordingly.
Adjust on the fly.
Yep.
So we'll always pull up FanDuel and DraftKings because specifically in golf, they drastically are different a lot of times. Football, nah. But they will be here.
Yeah. So one and done picks. Are you doing the one and done pool this year?
I'd never gotten an invite. Did you?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get an invite.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we'll have to run on your one. I'll have to figure out some way to track it.
Track the one and done.
Yeah.
My one and done pick this week is Seamus Power. Has performed well at the course and just notably does fairly well beginning of seasons. He is a plus 1900, which is
who's doing the one and done?
JMJ.
Huh. Not under the same thing then, huh?
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's exactly where I fill my pick out every week. Not this year.
Not this year.
Yeah.
This year.
Plus 1900, Seamus Power, number 5, I think T5 overall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, T5, him and Tom Hoagie. Tom Hoagie is the defending champion here. Struggled at the end of last year, but has kind of recouped to start this year. So
I can't be
he's
mad
been
at
a
it.
popular pick. Top 3 picks here are all at plus 1100. That is Spieth, Fitzpatrick, and Hovland, as you mentioned those names earlier. And going down the board, you're going to see some familiar names, but you're going to see a lot of names.
I like a Kuchar early on. Early on season, Kuchar wins, those types of things. I don't know if Pebble doesn't suit him drastically. I'm trying to think of where else I would use someone else. I like Seamus a little later too. I don't know how I'm going to track this and remember it. We'll track it because I'll know who's on there. But
just put them on here. Yeah.
let me go with Hogue. I'm going to go back to backs.
Well, Tom Hoagie coming back to back.
Let's go back to backs.
Tom Hoagie also at plus 1900 on the one and done.
So on DraftKings, he's 2200.
2200, like that. What's Power?
19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit more love on the. I'll give you the love. If you can find the love, take the love.
Find the love. Give me the love.
So one of my one and done mantras this year has been to be more aggressive early on.
Be aggressive.
So far, it hasn't really paid off for me. I've been aggressive in the wrong direction. So I've already used, like Xander Schauffele has already been used. I've already used Zalatoris. So just going with guys that I thought might win a tournament early. Every week so far, we've had multiple winners as far as people who picked the guy who's won multiple times, meaning we've had rollover in first win pots because you have to have the solo win in order to get the payout on that. So have been trying to stay like a little bit off the beaten path, but at the same point, that it's also something I talked to Andrew about, and unfortunately I haven't gone with his picks as much as I probably should have. So I'm going to have to start following Andrew more.
Probably
what it comes down to. Based on everything that I've seen so far, he hasn't led me astray, and yet I've ignored him. So that's what I'm good at. Just ask my wife. Outright winners. You said you're going scratch. Like, you just going straight to the top of that leaderboard. I mean, what's your feel here?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. Being my first tournament I'm picking all year.
Yeah.
This. No, I mean, I should probably pick from the top 5.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
Okay.
I like him early too. Keith Mitchell is just someone who, I don't know what he's done this year. Again, I've done 0 research this year on golf, but I've picked him last year before around this time period, and it's worked out well for me. So
Keith Mitchell?
Yeah.
Outright winner. You got a number on him?
Yeah. He is, oh, dear Lord, it disappeared. Plus 3,500 on DraftKings. He is
3,300 on FanDuel. So,
keep going with DraftKings.
Yeah. Let's see here. Is he playing this week?
Who are you looking for?
Taylor Montgomery has been playing really good golf this year. I think he's taken a week off. He's a guy that I'm keeping an eye on.
Okay.
Young guy off to a hot start this year.
Pick him next week.
Yeah, this week not going to be the case. I think that this week I am going to go Matthew Fitzpatrick. Haven't seen it. He hasn't played stateside, so I'm a little hesitant from that perspective.
This is a good course for him to not be playing stateside, to come play stateside, though.
Correct. Just not a guy that's going to be expected to do much from like a pro-am standpoint. I mean, he'll probably play in it and stuff like that, but like he's just not as notable as like Spieth can, in my eyes, maybe get a little distracted. McNeely, kind of up and coming American guy. So, yeah, I think that Fitzpatrick can come in, get a win. I do really like Power to finish strong. Fitzpatrick's 1,100 on FanDuel. Same on. Okay.
Same.
So yeah, I'm gonna go. That's why we have an outright winner. It doesn't have to be somebody that comes from way back in the pack. It seems like the cream is kind of rose to the top here early in the season, where we've seen a lot of lower guys maybe contend, stuff like that, but ultimately, like, they've blown leads. And those guys behind them, there's been a lot of chasers, and the chasers have successfully, caught up in the 4th round. So, dark horse, or do you want to go to player to fade? Let's just go in order this week.
Yeah, just go in order.
Dark horse, we call it dark horse, the Black Stallion, of course, here.
5,000 or more.
Plus 5,000. And
for no other reason
Yeah.
than because I like saying his name right now. Kurt Katayama.
And what's he at?
Plus 6,000. What's he at over there?
Kurt, baby, where you at? Oh, hey, Kitayama. Plus 7,000 over here.
Hey, let's jump back over.
This is why you look at both sides, folks. I'm going with Ryan Palmer.
Oh, yeah?
Traditional golf course. Obviously, a golf course this guy's probably played a lot growing up in a golf family. Here, circumstantial, but plus 10,000.
11,000 on DK.
Yep. Has played in golf tournaments that that matter. Has played good golf, so going to look for him to take an outside chance at it and come in for a W.
For a W.
Get the Black Stallion dub to start the year.
All right, let's change that to top 20 because we don't have a top 40.
We have
I don't have that option.
top 20 pick. Let's go.
And they have to be
finishing positions.
What was our rules?
Well, that's the thing. They couldn't be
Plus. They had to be plus?
so like.
It was
Do we want
plus.
to go?
It was
Do we want to go top 20, and do we want to go like either? Do you want to go to like plus 200?
Yeah, we can do that.
There's only a handful of guys that would be inside of that.
Yeah.
There would be one guy that I would for sure play that's inside of that, but top 40. Do you still want to do top 40 or do you just want to do top 20?
Just do top 20
Top 20. Okay, so we'll switch that.
because there's no top 40.
Well, this week there's not, but like weekly there might be.
Yeah, weekly we'll go top 40, but
Okay.
we
So
have no-
top 20 this week, and we're saying our caveat is they've got to be plus 200 or better to finish in the top 20.
give me Bo Hostler.
Bo,
Had
big
a
Bo,
solid rookie season last year. I think it's time for him to turn it around. This will be the time. I
Plus-
have no idea how he's playing. For
plus
240.
240.
Yeah.
Big Bo Hostler. Let's see here. I will go with a guy that I've seen on the leaderboard a few times this year. Has been playing some pretty decent golf overall. I think I am going to go with Eric Van Rooyen.
Yeah. He's been playing a little
solid,
golf.
and if he
Yeah.
can continue just doing that, he's at plus 300 to finish in the top 20. So
Okay.
I'm gonna have to play some good golf again.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
continue that. What he's been doing. What's he on DraftKings?
Oh shit. $350.
350.
$350.
Like that. Another guy that I'll just mention here, maybe he's outside, but a guy that I really like this week is Andrew Putnam. Playing good golf and been,
Yeah.
and we'll play this. What's he on?
This is 125.
125? Yeah, and he's plus 140 on FanDuel, so just won't fit the criteria there, but that's just definitely another guy that I looked at this week that I think will have a solid showing. Last but not least, our player to fade. And remember, our player to fade is someone who is
T10 or better.
basically, someone that is expected to play well, that will fade
don't like.
from the bunch, that for whatever reason, whether it be course bias, recency bias, or anything in between, that we don't think is going to do quite as well as everyone is predicting them to do this week. They had to be top 10. Is that what?
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be T10. So sometimes that'll get us 14 guys.
Right.
Well,
Let's see.
so they had to be in T10 from a betting perspective.
Yeah.
And they, we do it based upon their difference between their starting position and their finishing position.
I'm going to go with Spieth.
See, I was thinking that same damn thing.
I'm going to jump in there first. And,
Yeah, you go ahead.
If you want to follow, you can.
Go ahead.
But Spieth was plus 1,100. Is he plus 1,100?
12.
Plus 1,200. So, I mean, he's
He's at 2 here.
Is anyone
T2 here.
2? Okay, so
One on you.
and he's 1
T1 there.
on mine, so I get the 1, right?
Yeah.
So make a note on that. He's T1 because it's number of finishes away, right? Yep. So, yeah.
I'm going with Hovland.
Okay.
Only because the last time I saw him, he decided to shank and choke some stuff away. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah.
Although I looked up, he's playing fine this year. But just saying.
I mean, we haven't seen him in the States really much. So
that's where I'm at.
He's also T1.
Oh.
1.
I'll take that then.
Right.
He's a 2 over here. Yeah. I'll take the 1.
Yeah. I mean, him, Hovland, and him, Spieth, and Fitz are all
tied up.
Plus 1,100 on FanDuel.
So there it is.
So we're both taking the top 2 guys to not be the top 2 guys or finish
really chalk
farther outside.
Wow.
Kind of again when the field is not as strong, you're gonna have that. I think we both have
correct
feelings on guys that might finish further outside of that, but that's what we're looking at this week. So you're looking at Tom Hoagie and Keith Mitchell. I'm looking at Seamus Power and Matthew Fitzpatrick. Black Stallions, Kurt Kitayama and Ryan Palmer. Top 20s for Bo Hostler and Eric Van Rooyen. And any side bets this week? I got nothing. I got nothing this week from just more so from a standpoint of just not being fully engrossed.
We can side bet
in the game.
The dodgeball and flag football.
So quick, I mean, this will be a good way to wrap it up here. So that's kind of golf for this week. Again, we'll be really ramping up here February, March, obviously into the Masters in April. But the Pro Bowl is going to be our filler this week for football. And they're doing things a little differently this year in the NFL. On Thursday night at 7 o'clock on ESPN, you can watch the initial start of the Pro Bowl stuff. And I had some notes here on it, maybe on this page. They are doing a skills show. The thing where I really feel like they're screwing this up is there's no fans at this.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Which I think they'll eventually get to. I think it's just kind of in test phase, but they're doing all of these items live. They're doing dodgeball. So it'll be 4 teams of 5. You'll have an AFC offense, AFC defense, NFC offense, NFC defense. The 2 AFC teams will play each other. Then the 2 NFC teams will play each other. The top 2 teams from each one. The winner of that gets points to either the AFC or NFC if they win. They have then a lightning round, which is 16 players from each side, AFC and NFC. They do a 3-part elimination challenge. First one is tossing water balloons back and forth at the farthest distance. If you go through that, they're doing a punt catch and then a bucket dump, of which they're aiming at a target to dump something, water or something, onto coaches that are standing underneath these buckets. Winner of that is going to get points. They're doing a long drive.
This will be a fun one.
There's 4 players from each conference. I haven't seen any names on this.
No, I haven't either.
Which is a little disappointing. I assume Rodgers and Allen. This is pre-taped, so this has already been done, is my understanding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then Allen.
I mean, that's how Allen's playing in the Pro-Am this week because he won't be there for that. So I assume like Rodgers, Allen.
That's kind of lame,
those are the
way.
golfers.
It's not live?
No,
I didn't know that.
That's my understanding on the long drive is that it's the only one that was pre-taped.
What's the point? Never mind.
Yep. So, 4 players from each conference. Winning conference will win that. It'll just be like a long drive competition. Have to hit it so far. Have to hit it in in play, if you will. I think it's 3 swings each guy or anything like that. So then you have the precision passing, which we've seen in years past. The thing that they're adding this year, so they're doing, and maybe they've done it in years past. I haven't paid that much attention, but they're doing 2 quarterbacks from each NFC and AFC, but they're also doing 1 non-quarterback.
Ooh,
from the NFC and AFC.
That'll be sweet.
And then there's a best catch. So like similar, I think. Yeah. Try to mold your mind towards like a dunk contest.
Yeah.
Of guys being creative in order to catch the ball. That's all on Thursday. The only thing that I can see kind of parlays over into February 5th, Sunday, is that the best catch
finale
has a finals, which is Sunday. Then they do the Gridiron Gauntlet, which is just the relay race that they've done in the past. They do a Move the Change, which is basically their version of kind of tug of war, but they're pulling a wall. So it's a timed event of basically taking chains and pulling a wall. So like you have to get kind of creative on how you're going to do that, work together as a squad and pull the wall a certain distance in a certain period of time. And then you have the kicker, punter, long snappers getting involved in kick-tack-toe, which I think is just what it sounds like. They're gonna have targets out there, and you got to win in tic-tac-toe by hitting your targets. And then all of that is going to be followed up by 7-on-7 flag football games. There are a couple games being played. I don't know if it's before or leading up to, but like then the finale will be a final game of some sort. So not exactly sure how that's all going to be divvied up. So be interested to see kind of the fanfare on that. There will be fans at that. That's happening in Vegas.
How do you feel about, so is everything Thursday pre-filmed then?
No, Thursday's live.
Except for the
golf.
So what happens
thing.
Friday, Saturday?
Nothing. Right.
Isn't that
it's
weird?
just weird. Yeah, the whole thing's kind of weird, but I mean,
just do Saturdays.
They're basically live events on days that they think are going to be most popular.
That they would play football Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
Fine.
But what are you doing?
Right.
Anyways.
Well, and like the Thursday event is not in the same city. Thursday's somewhere, and then Sunday's in Vegas. I don't think Thursday's in Vegas.
Anyways,
I could be wrong on that, but I'm not.
It'll be fun. It'll be different.
They are having the little kids 7-on-7 finals leading. So I don't know if they're starting those at noon or if those are at like 11 and they're leading through noon. Like that'll be on ESPN beforehand, but they're holding them in the same place. So like you'll have the little kids 7-on-7 finals, and then you'll lead into the Pro Bowl skills. So like they've got the right idea. I like the NFL is being proactive with just trying to be entertaining because they know that their game product sucks when it comes to an all-star game. It always will, unless they change the time of year that they put it at or something like that. It's just never going to change. You're never going to have the best guys playing. And football's tough to like show off. Like NBA, like you can have your best guys do some cool shit type of thing, like during an all-star game or weekend. NFL, it's just like nothing Pat Mahomes is going to do is going to be cooler than what he does on Sunday.
Right.
Same thing for like Josh Allen. Like you're just not going to see like those receivers, they can make acrobatic catches and stuff like that. But everything that happens because of how the NFL works is cooler when it happens in a game than, the showcase that you're putting on. It's just tougher to put on a showcase for that thing. So I think they're doing a good job of.
It's going to be way better than the actual football game that they have. Like,
So, I think the NFL is doing the right thing, trying to pivot here. So hopefully it's entertaining. It'll definitely catch my eyes for at least this year, simply because it's something a little different.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
So, all right. And honestly, a better chance that I watch it on a Thursday night than on a Saturday when I might be out doing something.
Or golf.
Yeah.
I mean, compete there. I'd rather watch Pebble. Anywho, that's it. Golf starting. It's a little teaser. Pro Bowl this week. Next week, big week, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl week.
Let's get it.
One game.
One team, one heartbeat, one city.